It is a dating podcast with evidence. And as always, I'm your host, Jenny Gorlick, and I'm here with my wonderful producer.
Oh my God, I'm the wonderful producer, Andrew McGuire. I'm here as well. I'm so excited to be here. This is so much fun. A little midday Twitch, if you will.
A breakfast Twitch.
Yeah.
If you're watching us on the West Coast, I hope that you have a scone. That's my vision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A scone is the vision, ultimately.
A scone is the vision. Maybe a mimosa.
Okay. What is it, a Thursday? I guess it's getting, to the end of the week. It was
Thirsty
a short little week. Yeah.
Thirsty breakfast Thursday. And we all know everyone's working from home. So there's no reason not to have a mimosa
for your morning meetings. I was a little bit crazy at the beginning of quarantine. I guess I didn't think it would last this long. I don't think any of us did. And so I was
none of us did.
Drinking just every day because it was every day is literally a party,
Yeah, well, when I was in Michigan, I was in a frat house and I was drinking every day because I was in a frat house.
But when did that stop for you?
That stopped once I went to Arizona, which was May. No, June. It was June.
May, June. Yeah, that seems right for me as well, where it's I literally don't have the money to afford alcohol every day. But it's also very not healthy for your body is what I hear. Yeah. Yeah,
I hear it's bad for you. Mm-hmm, I hear it's not good. Although one glass of red wine is chic and also maybe okay for you.
Yes. Yeah. And
that's what they say.
In early April, I had a half a bottle of tequila that I just have been putting off for literally 2 years. And I was okay, tonight is the night I need to finish it. And I hate tequila. And I felt so disappointed the next morning when I threw up after drinking by myself, the most depressing thing in my life. Yes.
That's ultimately not a highlight.
Oh, no, I would say not, but
that's really not.
Yeah, I finished, I completed the goal that I had set.
I'm happy for you for achieving your goals, but I would urge you to set other goals.
Wait, you have receipts for this
I do have receipts for this week. Okay, so this week I launched hot merch for Biden, which is an online store. I never intended to be an online retailer, but based on the state of the world, I feel like I have truly no choice. And Joe Biden's merch, his official stuff, is pretty sad. So I was like, what can I do to make this more relatable and to help people to visibly and vocally come out in support of Joe and Kamala? Because I need them to win, actually. Yeah. I need them to win. So I made this online store that's cute merch for Biden. I'm wearing a shirt right now. Biden for
hot merch for Biden, right? Or is it also cute? I mean, it's also cute.
It's also cute, but it's hot is the LLC. Because I am an entrepreneur and a businesswoman. So it's hot campaign merch, LLC. Whoa.
Wow. As you're talking about this, I'm this is, I you're doing this obviously for a great cause and everything, but literally in an interview setting, I'm just looking for it to you, saying this. It's so impressive, just any person that will interview you in the future. I just want them to ask something that would trigger that, because whatever the job is, literally that is insane.
I booked it. I got the job.
Yeah, you booked it. Yes.
I booked it.
Yeah.
It is very hard to be an online retailer. It turns out it is difficult to have a drop shipper. The bucket hats are coming in from Latvia. There are things. But one of the things is I've been promoting it because I've been trying to get the word out. So obviously I posted a bikini picture wearing the bucket hat.
Of course.
Sex sells. So I'm I'm going to wear a bikini photo in my hot merch for Biden, bitches for Biden bucket hat. And that triggered all of these men in my life I have not heard from in ages, sending me DMs and texts. They've all come crawling out of the woodwork like little bugs. So I've got this guy that I was kind of sexting in high school. It was very PG-13 sexting. It's not nothing R-rated, but we were definitely flirty texting. Yeah, it was performative and it was flirt texting.
I said formative, but also Probably
formative. No, it was performative. I was performing being cooler than I was to this guy who was on the hockey team.
Yes.
Ultimately, I had no business
as
a drama kid doing that. Okay. But he messaged me on Instagram. He followed me on Instagram. I'm not following him back.
Okay.
Power. And he messaged me, "Hey, Jenny, it's been a long time. I hope all is well. Just curious, are you the artist? Really cool idea. BTW, some of the jokes and material I saw of yours was so funny. Keep doing you because it's really good. Again, I hope all is well."
That's great.
It's so sweet, but it's unbelievable to me that this is a boy that when I was 17 years old was like, I can't even imagine what the last texts I have with him are.
Yeah. Well, I have my text that automatically delete after I think like 6 months, which really goes against what this podcast stands for, I feel. Where it's like you need those receipts, but those texts do take up a lot of space ultimately. Especially if there's a lot of photos.
They do.
I mean, there was photos, I would imagine, in your case.
There were actually no photos. It was, again, like, so PG-13.
Yes.
But I just is like, I have all these texts from him where he's like, July 1st, 2011, 11:22 p.m. Hey. Yes. July 4th, 2011, 8:16. You home? Me saying, nope. July 5th, 2011. So want to hang sometime? Me just not responding. This is us like summer after college.
Oh, did you ever do anything with him?
No, we never hooked up.
Wow. Huh.
Wow. So he came back, and then also this guy that I got a text from him. He said, "Hey, how's your pandemic been?" Sunday at 5:00.
Yeah.
And this is a guy that I got the text, and I was like, who is this? I have no idea who this is. I don't remember them at all. Cannot recall. Yeah. I go back into our texts, and he is someone that I matched with on Hinge in 2018, and we never went on a date.
Oh, okay. Interesting. There are a few of those where it's just like you never actually met, but they're there.
No. Yeah. We never actually met. His name is just like a ghost to me in my text. And like he texted me at, I'm looking at these older texts, and he texted me at like November 4th, 2018 at 12:04 a.m. at the Soho Grand having a drink. Come. Like he's hitting me up at midnight.
Yes. Midnight 4. Yes.
Yes. 12:04 a.m. at midnight 04. Being like, come hang out with me. And we never ended up winning on a date. Like he asked me, and I was like, I can go late. I just don't want to be commuting far. So is that a no? Like, you don't want to meet up tonight? And he's like, I'm heading to drop my stuff up on the Upper West Side. Don't think I'll be able to make it in time. And I said, yeah, nope. That's it. God. We never met up.
That's crazy.
We never met up. And this guy, I think he follows me on Instagram. And I think my bathing suit selfie was like, not a selfie. My bathing suit photo was like a bat signal.
Wait, on your social media though, Jeffrey is included.
He is. He is. I have posted about Jeffrey, but I haven't posted about him since May, I guess. Yeah. There hasn't been a photo of us together since May because really I haven't been posting very much.
Yeah.
So, but I'm going to remind everybody that it's our 1-year anniversary.
Of course.
This month. Of course, I have to. So
I feel like, yeah, unfortunately, that will, every time that you do that, you post a certain person in your life in that regard, they start leaving.
Yeah, they're gone.
Mass exodus. It's really sad.
It's like when you put out vinegar to like trap them.
Yeah, always. Yes.
Yeah, wow. That's my bathing suit photo is my vinegar catching all these fruit flies in my life. And then I'm going to dump them once I post my cute photo with my boyfriend.
Do you have the unfollow app so you know exactly who is leaving?
Absolutely, I do. And absolutely, It is ruining my life.
It's ruining my life. I've already checked it twice today.
No, Andrew.
Yeah.
No.
No, but it is like sometimes like they tell you that it's you know, someone unfollowed you, but actually they just deleted their account.
Right.
You know,
It does tell you that, which is nice.
which is nice, you know, because then when they come back, if they do, then they automatically follow you again.
Right.
So
And it wasn't about you. Ultimately, it was about their relationship to the app.
exactly. Yes. And maybe they were too obsessed with the content that I was putting out that they were like, I need to step back. Yeah.
So it is about you.
Yeah. Ultimately.
So what is your receipt from this week?
There was a certain guy a few months ago that I think I talked about. Like I went out with him and I directly came back to record with, I forget who it was that day. It might have been Moses. No.
Okay.
Yeah. But came back after meeting him for the second time. I met up with him once in, I guess, like February. He's not very attracted to him.
Oh yeah, I do remember this.
Yeah. He's just like, okay, like let me just like take you out to eat, not to die. But we went out to drinks in February, and I could like sort of like there was like a show going on at the bar, so like I could like sort of like avoid like talking to him. And then at the end of the night, after he's bought me like 3 drinks, I'm like, okay, I'm going home now. And then he's been like texting me since then. And then in July, we went out for brunch, and it was fine. It was a little bit obviously more intimate, just like sitting across.
Oh, he's the guy who was obsessed that your first brunch back was him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It wasn't like entirely the truth, but I was just like, you know, I knew that it would sort of have that impact on him, and it really did. And he mentioned it a number of times since then. But anyway, he messaged me the other day, and he said, let's try to do something soon, maybe something down in Chelsea where I live, because last time I went up to Hell's Kitchen, not that big of a difference, really. But I was like, yeah, okay, like, do you have like a favorite spot around here? And he said, your apartment, ha 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 ha.
Okay.
And I was just like, I don't actually think, if you think that this like third get together equals
a sexy one,
no. And so I just said, I have a feeling that we're not looking for the same thing. Ultimately, I feel like I'm gaslighting him. And he said, no wine or cocktails at your apartment. It was just a suggestion. Dinner, drinks outside are fine too. And I said, I don't think that's what you were getting at. And so then he went off. And he said, it's so hard to be mildly flirty with you. Last time you said it was your first time at a bar or restaurant, that you'd only hung with friends at apartments. It was a serious suggestion. You're a charming guy and fun to hang with. It doesn't matter to me where we meet. He started off very angry, but ended in like a nice. You can still come back from this. I have left him on red. Read receipts are on.
Oh my God.
And this was yesterday. An hour. Yeah, it was 1:45 yesterday p.m.
Wow, Andrew. Ultimately, you are hard to be flirty with for this guy. I think.
Well, yeah, I was like thinking about it, and I was like, actually, I was talking to the person that I'm actually interested in, who's like perfectly content with me going on scam dates, as it were. And he's just like, yeah, like I was like, if this guy was saying this to me, then like, yeah, I wouldn't obviously like be up in arms or like be like, I don't think we're looking for the same thing. But yeah, I don't know. I think it might be done with him.
That's so silly. I feel like it is probably done.
It's done.
Right? It's done, because like you can't do just like fun, he buys you drinks dates anymore.
I think that like after have you been on like scam dates before?
Where it's like, just like
yeah,
I have done that, where it's just like, well, I know this will be a nice dinner,
right,
but I don't think I actually like this person. But then at a certain point you have to be like, well, I don't like this person, I have to stop.
How many like dates before it's like completely like over for you?
I feel guilty after 2, probably.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, he still wants to make it work with you. I hope now that you've left him on red, he knows.
I don't know. His name on Grindr, just for context, is Dom Power Daddy.
Okay.
He's making it very clear what his intentions are.
I think I understand his goals and priorities based on the name he's given himself.
And the priorities are very, very evident.
Yeah, but I think you do have to ask for what you want and be clear about what you're hoping for, you know? So he is doing that in terms of the way he's branding his Grindr.
Right. Yeah, but it's like I am at the same time just like wanting to go out to eat.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. But also you need to eat.
Right. I do need to. Yes.
But yeah, I think you might have to find a new scam date.
I will.
Okay.
Thank you.
I believe in you. I know you're very capable.
Thank you so much. You more than anyone. Yes.
Yes. I'm very excited about our guest.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Another person who is so capable, but also she's hilarious. She's so funny in the wildest way. She does incredible characters and also stand-up. She's also so warm and lovely. She's just a delight and a wonderful person to know and to follow. So I'm so excited she's here. Everyone, please give it up for Nadia Pinder.
Give it up.
Yes.
Give it up.
I changed my outfit and I've been doing these white freckles on my face sometimes.
Oh my gosh. That's so cute.
You're so cute right now. I love this look.
I'm just a doe. I'm just a deer and I've lost my way.
Oh my gosh. A deer in the headlights of love. Yeah.
You're giving us Bambi vibes for sure. You're giving us hot Bambi.
Hot Bambi.
How are you, Nadia? What's going on?
Wow. I'm so good. I loved hearing both of your receipts. I really loved hearing particularly like this dude just being like, wow, you are so difficult. Like someone being like, I cannot believe first it's coronavirus concerns and now I can't just fuck you.
Yeah. Now I simply cannot sodomize your body. Yes.
I thought that was the agreement starting, and we're going from Hell's Kitchen to Chelsea. Like that's a big.
Yeah.
What's next? Yeah.
Yeah. He's gonna be like, I had to go all the way to Fi-Dye for this guy. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah. Just having a hoot. It's a delight hearing you both talk. Also, like Jenny, knowing that you are just like running. Just like you've always got like a biz or a hustle or just like a job. I've never seen you without something to do, and that something is always cool.
It's always like it's like 6 somethings though, I feel.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I like to stay busy. Yeah. And some might say it's because I'm running from something.
Ooh.
Oh my God. That's good though. It's like working in your favor, I feel.
Yeah, but ultimately I'm very productive. So I have, for an assignment for my acting class, I have to keep track of what I'm doing every hour of the day. I don't know what the point is of this. I think they're trying to be like, this is how much time you actually spend on acting. But I look at my sheet and I'm like, I spend my day in Zoom meetings and on phone calls. And I don't know if that's what you want to know, but like, that's where I am, baby. I'm hustling.
Someone tweeted like instead of good night moon, good night Zoom, and it was like it just was like, wow, that is the world. It is just me being like, okay, I finished my Zoom calls for today, and now I've got to get ready for them for tomorrow. The dread.
Oh yeah, the video conferencing dread.
And I'm so glad that we could take like a little vacation to Twitch, you know, for once.
Yeah, for once we're in StreamYard.
Yeah,
for once.
And we all have really sweet plants in our screens too.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, we've all got little planty plants.
Oh, very cute.
Andrew, you've got a horse, a white stallion.
A white stallion. My mom told me this past week because she one of her friends painted it. It's the stupidest name. I like never assigned a name to it, and I was like, "Does the horse have a name?" And she's like, "LeBlanc Mer," and I'm just like, the white horse. Like literally, you could not get more boring.
But the horse is French.
I guess.
It changes something for me.
Yeah. But yeah, LeBlanc Mar. I was like hoping something like Steve or Kevin. I don't know. Something.
You can give it a pet name.
Yeah, you can.
What do you think it looks like to you?
I liked Kevin.
Cool.
Yeah. Kevin's fine. Kevin's like, I'm not gonna assume he's a magical horse. Maybe he's just like a horse. Maybe he's not fancy. So like Kevin fits him. But also the idea that he is French is so funny. Because you know how different languages have different animal sounds?
Oh,
like I'm trying to picture right now what French people say a horse sounds like.
Yeah. Like, how do you assign like a French accent to neigh?
To neigh.
Yeah. Because it like wouldn't like you wouldn't say like any of those sounds in French.
Yeah.
To me, it sounds like maybe like ne.
Yeah.
Ne.
And that's ultimately what horses sound like in France too.
Oh, wow.
They're just it's a little horse throwing a temper tantrum. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. Very cute.
So Nadia, tell us what is going on in your dating life right now.
Okay, cool. So I'm dating a dude. His name is also Andrew.
Whoa.
Yes, his Instagram handle is Bong Repair.
Okay.
He makes skateboards and surfboards, but he thought it was a funny joke to have it be called Bong Repair. So he tuned into a live Instagram stream of a show I had for teenagers last night on comedy for like a class I taught. And he just like his username was Bong Repair. So he was just like, he's like, hey kids, like that's a great job. And he was like, anyone need their bong repaired?
Yes. Oh my God, I love his feed. He does really great work.
Yeah, he's a really incredible craftsman.
He sounds fun too.
He's fun. He's handsome and he's fun loving. He's having like a what I would call his Saturn's return. So he's 29 or 28.
Gorgeous.
I can't remember. I think it's 28. But he's in his Saturn's return and he's like having a bit of a crisis, as we are all having a crisis right now. And he's like, well, maybe I should buy a van and live in a van. He's in that phase.
Got it.
And I was like, no, that's not a smart fiscal choice.
No.
Well, just wait until you have your living in a van phase. It's not that pretty. Yeah.
Too bad it's not overlapping.
Yeah, that'd be great. He was like, what you're gonna see, like we could go camping. Like every time someone he knows who like it's always someone in their 30s or 40s, like us, like a surfing friend of his who is like gainfully employed, like a lawyer who had like a midlife crisis and bought himself a houseboat and a van.
Oh yeah.
He's like, he's got one. And I was like, he has money that he is throwing away. Like when you are a lawyer and you're just like, what am I going to do with these thousands of dollars I keep making? Please buy yourself a van. But
get a van, get a boat.
Yeah, get whatever. But the last thing he texted me was a Craigslist posting for a van.
No.
And it's a cutie. It's a green one, and it has a heart-shaped window in the back.
Green hearts, just like this background.
Just the feed.
I think you should go for it, just because of that reason alone.
Yeah. If he can pony up $3,000 to buy a car, he's more than welcome.
That feels low to me.
It
feels
is
like
low.
a van a functional van should probably cost more than $3,000, right?
Yes. This one it's like Facebook Marketplace, and there's like, sorry, I thought I saw a person walking on a roof, but it was a tree branch. I was like, get that man away from the edge. Get down.
This podcast really just took a turn.
Yeah.
I
turn it.
We have a lot now.
Yeah. This is what we have. We captured their final moments. Yeah.
Yeah, I scaled the building and saved them.
Yes.
Ha ha ha.
I would send it to the news.
Yeah, I would text that to ABC, and then they'd be like, coming from Brooklyn, New York, Nadia Pinder texted us someone about to jump off a roof.
It would be really great publicity for the pod, though.
Yeah,
really good.
it would. It would, yeah. It'd be better if it was at sunset, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, beggars can't be choosers, yeah.
Right? We'll take whatever we can get at this point.
Yeah. I'll take Overcast if that's what I have to do.
So this van, does it drive?
Apparently it does. The marketplace seller said runs great, sounds great, and he's older. And it said it only has 60,000 miles on it, which is good.
That's good.
Typically vans, it's always someone who's like, yeah, this one's got 300,000 miles. Like, it's always like, where have you been driving? Just like from Canada to Key West over and over again. But yeah, it's in like, it seems like it's fine, but I was like, dude, that means you got to put like a couple grand of work into it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you see a car that's
that cheap,
it's like, it's because you have to get things fixed.
Yeah, you got to definitely work on something there.
Yeah, vans are
good to go.
Well, I mean, like you can repair bongs. Can you repair?
Yeah, can you repair vans?
Yeah. He can repair vans. He can do some stuff. He doesn't know how to build out a car. So it would just be the like, I want to change the flooring of this van from shag to wood. You know, like rip the carpet out. He can do that.
That van has carpet.
Yeah.
A $3,000 van, shag.
Yeah, Justy, full of mites and allergens aplenty.
Yum.
Yeah, but just like, you know, being like, dude, don't do this thing where you're gonna, you know, a middle-aged dad will be like, I want to get a fixer-upper car or a motorcycle.
100%.
They want to throw their money into a thing that will just have no return.
Yeah, it's a project. Make them feel young.
Yes,
vibrant. Yeah,
learn to knit. It's much cheaper and will annoy everyone a whole lot less in the process. Because I don't want to, and I know that he's going to listen to this as well. So Andrew, I love you. I just want to tell you that if you buy this van and then you complain about it, I'm going to say, no.
I forgot I forgot that your boyfriend's name was Andrew for a second.
Yes.
Like, you're taking a break just to be like, check in with me. Yes.
How are we doing? How is everyone?
That's so good.
Your boyfriend's aesthetic though does match van. It does match van. Like if you told me he already had a van, I would be like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. He has a Jeep, so it's not far off.
Yeah,
it matches. Here's the thing. I want him to have a van, but I'm not paying for it.
No.
And if he can't afford it, I'm not gonna, as a friend, I was like, I'm not being like a Debbie Downer, but if my friend was like, I want to buy a $6,000 purse. And I was like, well, hold up, sweetie. We're in a pandemic and everyone's unemployed or underemployed. Maybe you don't buy a purse now.
Yeah. Save for it.
Save for the purse.
Save for the purse, babe.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. I love the purse. The purse is a beautiful purse. I think you would have so much fun with that purse. But maybe now's just not the right fiscal time. And if I don't tell you that, I'd be a bad friend.
Yeah. You wouldn't be looking out for him.
Yeah. I want to be a good friend. I'm just being a good friend.
Yeah.
How long have you been seeing him?
We've been dating for about 1.5 years.
Okay.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
How did you meet?
It's funny. We met IRL. I was working. I know. I was working at a coffee shop down the street from his like wood shop where he works. And he was just a regular who would come and get coffee.
Oh my God, barista love story.
I know. He came in wearing tie-dye and overalls, and I was like, where'd you get that tie-dye? And he was like, I did it myself. And I was like, that's cool. I love tie-dye.
Nadia famously has a tie-dye business.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
I
my
love that.
legit. That's my LLC. That's
Nadia's LLC.
You can do like all the different designs. Oh my gosh. I used to work at a rec center where like the big like event of the summer was tie-dye. And so I love doing all like the rubber band, like different designs. They're so much fun.
Yeah, it's just like a nice thing where you get a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's not a lot of things in life where you're like, oh, I wonder how this will turn out.
Yeah. And then it's always good, usually. It's never so bad.
Yeah. You got into tie-dye at the beginning of quarantine, Jenny, right?
Yeah, I was also tie-dyeing. It was fun. And it makes you feel good. It makes you feel like it's things that you can't control, but still you're going to be happy about how it turns out. And I needed some of that in my life. Yeah. And I ultimately tie-dyed like 3 different matching sets. And I don't need 3 different matching sets, but I'm happy. So
that's the trick. Yeah, I've got a sweatsuit in the tub right now, a nice rainbow tie-dye sweatsuit that someone asked me to make for them. Yeah, it's so fun. All of my clothes for a long time were all tie-dye, and then I've chosen to like indulge in solids and not tie-dye.
Huge change.
Sometimes, but then, I'll just leave my house and I'll look out at myself and be like, head to toe tie-dye. That's the choice we made and we didn't even know. But that's what's good.
But I think tie-dye brightens up people's days.
For sure.
Dude, it does. I have this rainbow shorterall tie-dye that I did for myself, and the shorteralls have butterflies embroidered on them, which is adorable. When I wear it, people are just like, hey, look at your overalls. Like everyone is so excited to see me in a bright outfit.
Yeah.
And then it's like impossible to be in a bad mood wearing rainbow tie-dye overalls. It's just like the happiest outfit you could wear.
So
yeah.
Cute.
Yeah.
It'd be really hard to be a full bummer dressed.
Yeah. Every time you pee, you have to look at butterflies.
Rainbow.
Oh, yeah. Wholesome and cute.
So cute. So how did Andrew ask you out?
I asked him out.
Yes.
I know. We got each other's Instagrams the first day when I was like, I like your tie-dye. And then after that, he'd come to the coffee shop and it's a tiny like hole in the wall spot where like 2 people can stand in it at a time. And then outside they had like a little bistro table with 2 chairs. And he'd like come get his coffee, sit at the bistro table and like drink his coffee and like smoke a cigarette. He's since quit smoking because of the pandemic. I know, very proud of him.
Good job.
Good job, buddy. He's going to listen to this and be like, why are you talking about me so much?
Sorry, that's the pod. We talk dating. Sorry, baby.
Sorry, baby. I love you. But yeah, he would sit and talk to me for a while. And he would do that like every day. We'd talk for like 45 minutes every time he got a coffee from me. And then one day he came in to get a coffee and it was busy and I couldn't talk to him and I felt bad. And I like DM'd him and was like, oh, I'm sorry I couldn't talk. It was really busy. Like, maybe we should like get a drink sometime.
Yes.
Oh my God. Yeah. Because you're not forcing into it by any means. You had a real reason to actually like go out. I love that so much.
Yeah. Yeah. I waited.
And I also love getting paid to flirt.
Yeah.
Part of your paycheck.
Hell yeah.
Was going towards some cute talking and flirting.
Yeah, I got to do whatever the hell I want. And it's funny because when he first started being my customer, I was reading How to Date Men When You Hate Men.
Oh yeah, Blythe.
Yes. And I was just like sitting at the counter just being like, someone want a coffee? What do you want? Oh,
that's so funny. It says it's so big on the cover too.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I loved because I've been a barista for like 8 years in New York. So it's just like I've had enough times being a barista where I've had the opportunity for someone to flirt with me or want to go out, and I've just been like, I don't want to talk to anyone. I want to read my book. Like, and then I was just like, this guy.
Who is he in the overalls and the tie-dye? Okay.
I'll date a man. I'll try it.
Sounds okay.
I'll try it one more time and then I'm done with him.
Yeah. So good thing he's been good then.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
I've never heard of this book before. What was like the main thing that like you took away from it?
I think the main thing was just and I hate to bring up his name, but the idea that like Aziz Ansari wrote a good book about like understanding romance, and it was like
I like that book.
Yeah, it's like a sociological take. And there's lots of data and observation, and like Blythe's book it's far less like data heavy in that way. It's more like anecdotal, but obviously like well thought out and planned. But it was just like, be aware of the things that are at play, because you'll fall into these patterns where like, God, I just can't get over it. Like it provided me hope in terms of like, I can't get over this thing that's so frustrating about dating men. I can't get over these pitfalls that are so common and so pervasive. But that it's like, well, just if you're aware of them, then you can speak about them. And at the start of your relationship, you can be like, I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't want to do this. Or when something happens, you're not just blaming yourself. You're allowing yourself to like look outward. Which I think a lot of the book, at least to me, seemed like Blythe understanding that there was a lot of times where she was being really hard on herself, or like knowing people that were really hard on themselves and being like, it's my fault. It's my fault I got ghosted. And it's like, it's not your fault that you got ghosted. It's not your fault that dude was like mean to you.
Yeah.
That person was mean to you. And here's like the social reasons of like why that person felt convicted enough to be mean to you in these ways. And here's the social reasons as to why you felt not convicted to protect or defend yourself.
And she it feels like really kind of learns to assert herself, to like, you can kind of see a journey of life learning to advocate for herself too, like in the essays and the way that it like all comes together. It's very cool. And she's a very funny lady who is also in the comedy scene and would do PowerPoint comedy, which is something that I fully support as a concept.
Oh yeah. PowerPoint comedy folk, I think like at the start of quarantine had just a leg up on all of us. We were all just like, hey, I'm just going to have a microphone and just talk at you on a screen, and that's going to feel good, right? And they were like, no, have an audio visual element.
That's so good.
That is so delightful how you and Andrew connected. Has pandemic and quarantine been helpful, hurtful, like to the relationship?
It's been trying. I think a lot of it, like he had to move. He's from New Jersey, and like not far away, New Jersey, like 45 minutes away from Brooklyn, door to door, New Jersey. So he like moved home with his mom. His lease was up and was just like, this is easier and cheaper. And I was like, yeah, dude, do it. If I didn't have to be here and there were a place I could go that's near the city where I could still see all my friends and like drive in when I needed to and like work when I needed to, I would do it.
Yeah.
But I think it's just been like, it's hard for everyone, like moving back in with your parents, like losing that sense of like freedom or independence, and then just like being like, well, where do I go from here? And do I claw my way back into the city, or do I try and like take this time to reflect and figure out where it is I want to go? And like knowing that that's happening right now, and that again in the van situation where I'm like, I just want to be a really good friend to you and be upfront and honest about where I think things are going. I think you shouldn't get a van. And me being like, I just want to be upfront and honest. I think you shouldn't do these things. I think you should look into more of these things. But like, I'm the main person saying that. Mm-hmm. Like his other friends and like his old roommates aren't saying, dude, like, let's like check out where you're at in life and like assess.
Yeah.
Like, those
that's hard to be the voice of reason all the time.
Yeah, and I think, you know, he's made great strides. We've made great strides. Like, it's tough because you want to be sensitive to like where someone's at. Mm-hmm. Like maybe he needs to lean more on me right now. And that's just like where we're at in this crisis. And we're all kind of in survival mode. Mm-hmm. And that's fine. But they're also like, we've worked a lot on like making sure things feel reciprocal and making sure that, you know, if he gets to be like upset about something innocuous, I also get to be upset about something innocuous. 100%. Like, yeah, I get to be like, oh, you wanted to buy root beer and not birch beer, like I said, so that's fine. I get to be emotionally driven, and he gets to be emotionally driven. But yeah, it's been very trying. He really wanted me to join him in New Jersey at the beginning of quarantine.
That's tough.
And I was like, I will not move in with you and your mom. I won't do it. I won't. And I was having like a really, really crappy housing situation. Like, my lease was ending at one apartment. I was unemployed, couldn't pay rent. Like, landlord attacked me, had to leave my apartment. Like,
I'm sorry, Nadia. That sucks.
I survived and I'm safe and it's totally chill. But thank you for that. But yeah, it was like in a very testy situation. He was like, come to New Jersey. That's where you'll be safe. And I was like, no, I want to stay in New York. And he's like, but if you come to my mom's house, like, and I just had to be like, I know 1,000,000% that I will be miserable if I'm in guest mode at your family's house, which also I feel like you had to deal with too.
I did.
Yeah, you were in Michigan, right?
Yeah, I 100% did that. And I think you're so right, Nadia, that guest mode is really hard. Like, it's so important to me to have my personal space and to feel like I'm comfortable in my home. And if I want to be in a certain room or exist a certain way, I can do that without having to be polite or think about the people who actually own the house's needs and wants all the time. And like, Jeffrey and I lived together for like 4.5-ish months over pandemic in first his friend's home with his friend's dad. And it was like two of his friends, his friend's dad, his friend's sister and her boyfriend, and us. And it was like really fun, especially for the first month, because everyone is an awesome, very cool, very outrageous person. So it was great to hang out with them. And it was really nice to have activities. But then at a certain point, I was like, I don't have a space that I feel happy or comfortable in here. Yeah. Like, I have this one, I literally freaked out because I had this one little desk. That was the desk that I worked at. And then Jeffrey started to work at that desk. And then I would come down and Jeffrey would be working at the desk. And it felt like that was my one like spot in the house. And I like got so depressed for that week that I was like crying every day. Like, was so unhappy. And I think really just internally, it was like, I didn't feel like I had a space, and then my space was gone. And then it was like so hard for the last month, especially. It was just like, I need to leave because I'm feeling so out of sorts and so not myself being a guest in this house right now. So that was really hard. So then we went to Arizona and we stayed there for a month, and that was with Jeffrey's actual family. So his parents and his brother and his brother's fiance. And that was actually a delight for me. I had the best time. I love his family. They're so welcoming and sweet. And I really felt like I had ownership of Jeffrey's childhood room. I felt more comfortable in there. And like, I also spent a lot of time outside they have a pool, which is really nice. Very cool thing about Arizona. So I loved that. And I got a new friend in Jeffrey's brother's fiance. Like, Ariel and I spent all day together, and we had more similar interests than I did with anyone else. And it was a very masculine house that I was staying in Michigan. Mm-hmm. So with Ariel, I could like craft and we could hang out, and like, that was really nice and felt wonderful. And I didn't really feel like a guest in the same way. So But I 100% agree. Like, it's so important to have ownership over where you are. Like, and not liking your environment can be so oppressive to like your happiness. It's just so hard.
Yeah, it's wild. I don't know. I like to think that I'm pretty adaptable and that I'm a people person. And I think, Jenny, I think you are absolutely as well. Like, charismatic and charming enough to like get along with people, but at some point I have to be allowed to just like turn off.
Yeah.
And I think that's like, we just spent a lot of days together. We went down to the March on Washington.
Oh yeah.
And then I'm from DC, so we stayed like in my parents' basement, wore masks, only ate meals outside with my family. Didn't get to hug my family. Oh, it's so
hard. I just saw my dad. He came in, and we hung out outside, and we didn't get to hug either. And I haven't hugged my dad in like 5 months. It's so sad.
It's sad. I just, for all of our listenership, highly don't recommend subjecting yourself to just like a casual visit without preparing yourself for the sadness of not being able to embrace your loved ones.
Yeah.
And just I won't go into it, but the thought of all of us trying to travel for the holidays sounds dreadful.
Really bad.
And I can't imagine this. I don't know how to wrap my head around the sadness of us all trying to do our best at Thanksgiving and Christmas, and then just like not being able to embrace, or having to be like, no, auntie, I can't touch you. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. No, we're not yet. Oh, you're not wearing them. Like, doing that at Christmas sounds god awful. And at Thanksgiving, traveling when everyone else is traveling sounds so bad. Just thought about that reality yesterday. Can't even imagine dealing with it. But
not looking forward to what is going to happen.
Yeah, in November. It's all going to be bad.
I can learn how to cook a turkey in my little baby oven here.
Yeah, and then eat it by myself.
And then eat it alone.
But yeah, it's just like it was really sad. We went there, and then we quarantined at my apartment, and then my roommate also traveled and saw her family, but she had to go through an airport. Like, we drove to DC. So then we waited till we got our COVID mail, a package, mail time, Blue's Clues. What a treat. But
remember when they were looking for a new host?
Yeah. Wouldn't that be fun if one of us was
the new host?
Like,
I know. I feel like it's a cursed acting job. It's cursed.
It is. It absolutely is.
It's absolutely cursed. But also the money. I don't know.
Yes, that's the the curses I would risk.
Maybe I want the curse.
Maybe I just want to be known for something.
Someone give us jobs. Okay.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Anyways, got our COVID negative results, left my apartment, let my roommate quarantine at my apartment, and then waited till she got her negative so I could come back to my apartment.
Okay.
And he was just like, yeah, we spent a lot of days together. I think that's the most like consecutive days we've spent, like, and specifically had to be like cooped up together. Couldn't like be apart a lot during the day. And then I got back to my apartment and I was like, okay, I'll see you later. Bye. It was like, oh, like, do you want? And I was like, nope, I want to go sleep in a bed by myself. I'm really excited for that. I'm excited to be alone. It was just like, that was only like 2 weeks. And it was 2 weeks of just the two of us. And then also like 2 weeks of us bopping from like me and my family to me and my apartment to him and his family. So it was like a lot of different versions of ourselves colliding.
Yes.
And that's just enough emotionally, mentally draining nonsense to be like done. But I had like a full day to myself yesterday, and I ate ice cream.
Yes.
And made myself like a nice dinner. And he was like, "You sound rejuvenated." And I was like, "Yeah, I had time alone."
Yeah, it's so important. I think it's actually really smart that you didn't end up moving in together. Yeah. I think that it's important to have some like personal space and boundaries, especially right now when no one is working outside of the home, especially right now. And like, it feels like I've been thinking about this a lot, but it feels like this is a really good time to reflect, like have your relationships. They're so important. It's so lovely to have people to lean on and like for comfort right now, but also it's a good time for like personal and self-reflection. And especially like there's plenty of time later on to move in, especially when like everyone will have outside lives that they can lead outside of the apartment. That'll be the better time to do that, I think.
Yes. Yeah, when it's a choice, when it feels like more of a choice. And also just like if I'm having a difficulty learning about myself in a pandemic, like I'm trying to reintroduce myself to me and the things that I need and want, and the things that I can control, because so many things feel out of my control. Then just like the idea of personal space and that being something that I can depend on is paramount. To not have that while every other part of my identity, like, I can do stand-up comedy on Zoom, but
what is that?
Doesn't feel good. So that like that identity and that skill set and that way I interact with the world is gone in the way that I know it, and I don't know when it will ever return. And then also like me being a very social person and like loving interacting with people, interactions aren't casual and like uplifting now in the way they used to be, and I don't know when that will return. So it's like all of these things about myself and my identity, like my business has also changed. I had so many gigs that just like disappeared, and that can't come back because I can't teach a workshop for tie-dyeing where we're all like
separate
using our hands virtually. That's not
in screens, and you're like change your rubber bands. I can't see them. Sending them shipping them the supplies. I don't know.
None of it feels good. So it's like all of these things about my identity and everyone's identities are just like in flux right now. And if the only thing I can depend on is like space to myself, while I grieve those losses and try and rebuild for another, then like trying to introduce myself to a new self that is like the moving in with someone else self is like too much does not compute.
That's a lot. way too much right now. And how fun will it be to be like, oh yeah, I'm making that decision now to move in, and we're excited about it, and we're thrilled to like look for the apartment, we're thrilled to decorate, like all of that sounds so great.
We're really excited to buy our first van together and live in it.
Can't wait for that day for you. Your tricked out van in the future.
Yeah, it'll be covered in tie-dye. That'll be fun.
Oh,
so cute.
I'm picturing kind of a mystery van a little bit, like Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. I would love that as like a secondary vehicle and not my primary residence.
Secondary, yes.
But your vacation home? I don't know.
I would love to have like my clueless white Jeep Wrangler to like get around town, and then when I want to be the person that's in a van, then I get to choose that. I get to put that hat on, and then I take it off promptly.
And don't live in it all day. So Nadia, you brought us some receipts?
Yes, I do. I have receipts.
Are you feeling ready for a receipt?
Okay, all right. So we got some receipts, and here's I'll give you, in the interest of like going to something lighter as a little break from that talk about losing versions of myself and grieving the losses of pandemic.
Oh my god, but that was so light and fun. That was it was a macaron.
Okay, great. That's perfect.
little macaron for your French horse.
Yeah, exactly.
He loves macaron. He goes no. Word. Okay, I'll go to the heavier and we'll end on the light. And it's I won't, in the interest of time and also for myself, I won't go into too many details. Okay. But my brother, I'm the youngest of 3. We're all 5 years apart. Both my siblings. Yeah, I was an exit.
Okay, I
was a whoops.
Yeah, but you were right on time after the 5 years. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm the only one who's like a performer.
Brag.
Yeah, I mean,
you're also the most special looks.
Yes, I'm fun. I was featured on local news for my tie-dye business and my performance, so they weren't. They have desk jobs, which is fun because they're both still employed. But
okay, good for them. Sure, good for them.
That's that's a W. They can claim it. But my brother is many a wonderful thing, but he's also just like, when he was younger, we used to say, "Oh, that boy's going to be a lawyer because he loves to argue."
Okay.
So that's where we're starting. And he's a little snarky. He likes to argue for the sake of arguing.
Yeah.
Not quite devil's advocate, but like just to be like, oh, I get to argue something that looks like fun. Like he really delights in it.
100%.
And for that, I wish he was a lawyer, but he changed from pre-law to an English major because he was a college dum-dum. We're all dumb. So he's not a lawyer, but he loves poetry. And that's fine. That's fine for him. I'm not knocking that. But I group texted my family about some social justice things. And I didn't get a response. And then I followed up with them, and then I still didn't get a response. And then I mentioned that Dolly Parton said, of course, Black Lives Matter. Do we think our little white asses are the only ones that matter? And then in this, like, I know, Dolly.
That's so funny. Perfectly said, Dolly.
Just, if only she had said that so long ago, that might have been a helpful catalyst months ago, but alas, she did it, and I have to say thanks. But yeah, my whole family in this like family group text, no one responded to any of these things. And then like I mentioned Dolly Parton, and then my brother responded.
Okay.
But didn't acknowledge the other things I had said, which I thought were like more important, or at least more deserving of a response than Dolly's soundbite. And then I'm posted, this is me being petty, I posted on my Instagram story a selfie that was like, LOL, my family like wouldn't respond about the social justice issue, but they had time to pipe up about Dolly Parton. Okay. My brother sees the post, immediately DMs me, and then says, and I quote, "Is this the kind of bullshit you're on now?" Oh. And I was like, okay, guns blazing.
Okay. Coming in hot.
I mean, a different person would hide the story potentially from their family members. I'm a big proponent of like a 25, 30 list of accounts that you just don't see anything.
Yeah. Oh, I'm at 50 now.
Okay, cool. And he's on that list as well?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Sorry to bury the lead, but yeah.
No. But it's he wasn't on it before. I was just like letting, I have high school teachers and like aunts and uncles that like I don't need them seeing the weird selfies of me with my tits out talking about comedy shows. So I love those posts.
And me too, Nadia. Me
and
too.
I love having them, but it's like
a tit selfie about comedy.
Yeah, I'll put a little like thing over my nipple and be like, "The show's at 8." And I think that's funny, but I don't really need to have that conversation, nor do I need them to call my mom and be like, "Did you see what you posted?"
Yes.
But my mom can see, and she sees all the things, and she's like, she's gonna do what she's gonna do, Yeah. I'm not like hiding from my immediate family. And I was like, maybe he'll see it, but I assumed he wouldn't respond because that was the behavior.
That was,
that was the behavior I was calling out. But then he responded, and I said, okay, but am I lying? And then he said, yes. And I said, did you post an answer about my first question? Because from what I can see, there's no answer.
Oh
allowing him to be like, no, I sent a response and it didn't load, or blah, blah, allowing that. I wasn't like, you're so full of shit. I was like, well, am I lying? Did I do this thing? Because I didn't see a response. Right. And he was like, no need to engage on this topic. You're being disingenuous and disrespectful. I just want you to know that ain't right for you, but that's your choice. You're grown.
What?
I know.
Dude.
Yeah, and this is after we've had like several arguments like over social media this summer. And I've seen him like arguing with like friends of mine and like other like relatives of ours. And I've just been like noticing a pattern, and we've talked about this. Like, if he listens to this, I'll be like, yeah, I talked to you about this. This isn't a secret. I'm not saying anything differently than I would have on the phone with him. But I was like, well, would love to talk to you on the phone sometime. And I've tried to talk to him on the phone several times to be like, hey, you've said some things that like in terms of like social justice things, things that he's posted, I've been like unsettled by, and have been like, I want to talk to you about that thing. It seems misogynistic. I want to talk to you about that thing. It seems ill-informed. And he like, doesn't have time. He's a toddler. He's allowed to not have time. Yeah. But I was like, would love to talk to you on the phone sometime about these Insta DM combos we've had and FB convos I've seen you have recently. Honestly, I feel disrespected by you, and I'm not the only person. You feel really aggro over this platform, and it honestly worries me. Would love to have a mature exchange of opinions like adults if you're calm and interested.
Okay. Love that, Nadia.
Yeah.
Beautifully written.
Thank you.
Yes. I mean, I know exactly. I've been in a very, very similar situation as you have been this past summer. And it's like, yeah, you can write like something so like articulate, and it's like, you cannot find fault. And it's like, it's never met. I hope not the case for you. But it hasn't been met with the response that I guess would like.
Yeah, it's not going to be met. He's stubborn. We're all stubborn. My family is West Indian and Southern, so it's just like no one's gonna give. But the thing that's driven me crazy in this exchange is that I've been rereading my responses. I've been reading the receipts over and over again, being like, am I being insensitive? Am I lashing out? And then being like, no, I'm actually being really reasonable and like calm, all things considered. And then here's the last thing he said that I didn't respond to. He said, so, with a lot of O's, you'd like to disrespect the people who support you publicly, then ask to have a quote unquote mature conversation. At what point in your life have you been mature?
Oh my God.
Okay. And then I was asking for receipts. Yeah.
Yeah. But I was like, the people who publicly support me, what the bitch, have you been to a comedy show? Are you sending me money? Are you my promoter? Are you my manager? Am I beholden to you? Do you think mentioning to your friends that your younger sister does comedy means that you are publicly supporting me in a way that I need to be gracious and thankful for, or a way that is of note? And then to end that with, when in your life have you ever been mature? It's like, that what an immature thing to say. And one of the things we'd argued about before is like he gets really like mean and like attacks me in these conversations where I'll be like, I'm unsettled by your view on this, and he's like, you're a little baby, and I'm like, why are you being mean to me? I'm trying to have a conversation, and he's like, you're a little baby. Yes. And then I just like he gets really gaslighty, and I'll be like, Brian, you're being mean, and he's like, you're just being too sensitive. And I'll be like, he'll like get under my skin, and then I'll be like, you're being mean, stop being an asshole. And he's like, oh, so yeah, now you're being emotional and mean and you're calling me names. Like he'll do that. He'll push me to elicit a reaction because he likes arguing. And I know that about him. And I know that if he listens to this, he'll be like, she's putting me on blast. And I'll be like, no,
you're just reading the receipts.
I'm just reading the receipts, and I love him. I think he's a really problematic person, and I think he genuinely, I think he is really stressed out and like maybe needs therapy or like just like
everyone does.
I would love to start therapy. I'm, you know, I think that'd be so great.
Oh yeah, I know a lot of resources we can talk about after if you want.
Perfect.
I love obsessed with therapy, obsessed.
Yeah, I think it would be super great, and me wanting him to be in therapy or to like talk about these things. I think there's a lot of anger behind his words, and I don't read that same anger behind my words.
No.
So I'm just like, yeah, Brian, I think you should be in some therapy. Like, you sound really angry. Maybe you want to talk about that with someone. Maybe you need to like smoke a bowl, go on vacation. And I've like said that to him.
Yeah.
But it's not me being like, you need to go talk to someone because you have issues. I need to work that out with therapy. It's like, bitch, I want to be in therapy. I think therapy is a good thing. I'm not wishing something bad upon you.
No. You're just acknowledging, honestly, how he's been reacting and behaving to your very reasonable outline of what is going on and how you feel about it.
Yeah.
And he's seeing that as an attack, which is just like, it's not fair to like flip that on you.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you mentioned this earlier, but are you able to connect with your other sibling or other family members about this, this common person in your life?
I have. I reached out to my parents because I was like, okay, well, let's see if they have a perspective, because I know that he's talked to them before I would have had the chance to talk to them, because they all live closer together, and they, my brother has my mom's grandson. It's her first grandson, so they're like they see each other all the time. But I was like, did you guys see the thing I posted? Are you guys offended? My mom was like, well, we just kind of felt, and I was like, I can hear my brother's voice in her voice right now. But she was like, we just kind of felt like you put our family on blast and like said that we weren't like, that we didn't care about social justice issues. And I was like, that's not what I'm saying. I said they didn't have the time to respond to this social justice thing, but they had time to respond to Dolly Parton. And I was like, this is all just a big expression of transparency of like, I might seem to you like an activist or someone who's really vocal and who like has it all going perfectly, but I'd like to be transparent that I'm also having difficult dialogues with my family. And I'm actively doing that because I think it is necessary. And that's the work I think we should all be doing. And it's not all going to be easy breezy,
Right. It's not easy. That's the whole, it's so hard. And I think it's awesome that you're being so like vocal and showing us on social media how that's been going for you. Cause it helps, like it helps encourage other people to have difficult conversations.
Yeah.
And
it's great too. It was so great just like hearing you because after like going through something like very similar, like my dad like sent me like a gay for Trump and was like something to consider, and it's just like it's like
something to consider.
The point of view that I'm sure that like actually makes sense for me, and I'm like, okay, how about all the things that I've sent you, and so that was really great to just be able to hear someone who is going through something very, very similar, I feel. So
yeah, and I think it's important as well for like as a Black person who is in a Black family, it's important to know that we are having these conversations because it's so often just like, lots of people don't talk about things, but like if I want to be like, let's talk about trans rights and let's talk about like transphobia, especially in the Black community, because lots of Black trans people are dying right now. And it's actually a lot of times at the hands of like other Black people. So we need to correct that hatred. We need to start at home with that. Like, are we harboring transphobic feelings? Like, let's talk about that. Let's get that out. But like, we got to do that. And it's not, it's just like, if you're not going to talk about it, then it's there. And my family, my parents grew up in the South during the civil rights era. Like they marched, they got hosed when they were kids. And they're like, no, we went to these marches. We did these things. And I was like, I understand, but what are you doing now?
Right.
It's if you told me that you, you bought a vegan handbag a year ago instead of a leather one, but today you're eating a steak, then you're not continuing the work. You did the work, but you're not continuing the work. I'm asking how you're continuing that.
The work's changing too. There are new attitudes and things to consider.
Yeah.
Now.
Yes, it's hard
over time. Yeah.
Yes. And that I'm working on things in myself, things that I'm like, oh, that thing I said was not okay, or like I should have, like I had a student, a trans student, and I was like, someone used the wrong pronouns for them, and I was like, oh shit, am I supposed to call this out? Do I need to stop this person in this group and tell them that they messed something up? Do I individually message them? What do I do? And then I like panicked and I didn't do anything. And then I felt really guilty, and I reached out to my student and was like, I'm so sorry. Next time I'll just do it. Next time I'll just do it, because I know what that feels like as a Black person when someone says something racist and then no one in the room acknowledges it. And then I'm like, okay, cool. Well, I guess it's how everyone feels. But it's just like, I'm doing that work too. And I don't want me having a conversation with you about how we can be better isn't me saying you're not good. It's saying we all need to be better. Yeah.
Totally.
It's draining, especially when you're like, I'm the younger sibling, and like I'm the artsy fartsy one in New York who's like been about social justice. So they're all just like, she's on something again. At first it was the vagina monologue, then now it's this.
It's so hard. It's so hard to be the youngest and also to be the person who's like, okay, but we have to do better. We have to change. It's hard for it to come from the person that they're like, we don't want to listen to you. You're the baby of the fam.
Yeah, and you're like, yeah, but at some point, I'm not wearing diapers anymore. At some point, like the things that you've seen me grow and change and develop. So at some point you have to acknowledge that those things took shape in the form of an adult human.
Yeah.
And you can't be like, but I remember when you rode a tricycle. And it's like, yeah, Mom, I remember when you wore like matching sweatsuits that had like rhinestones on them. We've all developed.
I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah, Mom. Those are back though. She could do it again if she
They're back. She got rid of them.
Yeah, you
that would have been a good thing to inherit.
I know. Yeah, and they were. We used to call it like her uniform. She had one in green and purple and red and like another color.
She's like a Kardashian.
Yeah.
We also just got a comment from Level 3 Teapot. Is this live? Level 3 Teapot, you betcha.
It's not live. We're reading
Level 3.
Level 3 Teapot. Yeah, we're absolutely going off live right now. We are. Yeah, it's been hard. It's so hard to talk to family members about things that they're not necessarily going to take the way that you want them to, and then just have to keep going back in there and being like, we're going to try again.
Yeah.
Even though it's so emotionally draining.
Yeah.
And hard. Yeah.
I'm taking a little break from my brother and I was like, I'll be civil with you, but I was like, honestly, I think it's best for us if we take a breather, because I don't think this is going in a positive place now.
Yeah.
And then added him to the block list on my story.
Yes.
And
it seems really harsh. It's hidden. It's hidden. Yes.
Yeah. He's not blocked. He's muted. I've hidden stories, and I've also muted him so I don't have to like see someone that I think, honestly, it's like, I said it to my parents. I was like, if my boyfriend spoke to me the way that my brother just spoke to me, you would tell him to go fuck himself and dump him. Like, you would say that. You would be like, how dare he say something like that to you? He's being verbally abusive. Like, you would be like, you don't get to disrespect her like this. And then when I tell you that my brother said it, you're like, but he's your family. It's like, no, don't. Yeah. You don't get to raise someone to believe that they are of value and then tell them that they are only of value conditionally. That doesn't jive with the things you taught me to have, and also like with just like logic in general. It's not that people have values and then when it comes to family that you actually don't have to value them. It's like, no, you should know even more intimately how my brain works.
Right.
And that your words when they're hurtful are lastingly hurtful.
Yeah. It's hard. I'm setting up in therapy, I talk about that a lot, about establishing boundaries with my family members too, and how to do that, because it's really hard, because it's like, it feels like you can be like, a sibling can say something hurtful to you and like take things out on you because they know at the end of the day you're still going to love them because you're their sibling, and that just doesn't mean that you can still treat me that way, though, because we're both people and it does hurt. It doesn't like go away just because also we're related.
Yeah.
So it's so hard. That's a thing that I've been working on too, like personally. Wow, we got a question from Level 3 Teapot for relationship advice.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Do we feel ready and want to take it? I feel like. Okay.
I'm ready.
We're gelling. We're here. Okay. Level 3 Teapot. I find it hard to have a relationship with a girlfriend because every time we have sex, she needs to be high on marijuana. And the response, and what should I do?
What should I do?
What should I do is the question. That's hard. I was hooking up with someone who that was true of. He would always have to smoke before we had sex. And he also would want me to smoke with him because he felt weird doing it alone. And I don't like weed. It's not good for me. I get very paranoid. So at a certain point, I was like, I can't smoke with you if you want to smoke. Like, go off. But ultimately, that relationship did not work out because we fully had communication issues, including that. Like, I understand what it feels like to be like, oh, you don't want to be sober to engage with me intimately. And that doesn't feel great as the person who's like, I'm sober, I'm here. Yeah.
Yeah. The idea that someone needs, and it's tricky because everyone's in a different place, but like, I have understood for a while, like my family's history with addiction, specifically with alcohol, and understood the idea of like what self-medicating looks like. And like self-medicating and addiction are obviously different things, but like one thing can lead to another. And for a while I was like working in Chelsea Market at this god awful job. Also, Chelsea Market's not the place you want to be just for long stretches of time. And in order to get myself through the workday, I would like have to come to work stoned or like get stoned on my lunch break. And then at one point I like had a day where I was like too stoned and really, really paranoid. And I was like, oh, why do I need to be high to get through the day? Maybe I'm self-medicating because I'm sad or because I don't want to face this as just myself. Because if I did, I would have to admit to myself that I was like miserable or unhappy. And if someone is like, sex is a different thing than a work shift.
Right.
Hopefully
not the same unless it is the same. Unless it is the same job.
Unless it's your job. And that's also a good job.
That's a great job.
But yeah, if you've got the skills and you can do it, honey, work it. But if you're just like, I gotta self-medicate to get through this thing, that's like on that person of like them dealing with like whatever level of like happiness and acceptance they have of themselves. So it's just like, it's yes. It's just very not about you when someone like has to be stoned to have sex, but also you can just communicate with them. You can just be like exactly what you were saying, Jenny, to be like, I'm not going to do this with you. You can do it yourself if you need to do it. And if they're like, oh, they don't want to do this with me and they feel uncomfortable or like annoyed that this substance needs to be present, then that's fine. You can like address that. And if if you're like, genuinely, it makes me uncomfortable and they won't accommodate, then that's another conversation. But you gotta bring that up and be like, dude, what's up? What's up with this? I don't feel great about it.
Yeah. I think level 3 teapot, it's hard, but you got to talk it out with your girlfriend.
Talk it out.
You got to talk it out because we want you to be having fun, awesome sex that you love. That's what I want for both of you.
Yeah.
I want both of you to have that. And right now that's not what's happening. So you have to talk about it.
Yeah.
Also, scary.
Weed is a helpful thing for like stress. So I don't want to be like, wow, that person's unhappy and like blah 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 blah. But because sometimes you're just, I don't know, you don't know if that person's like dealing with trauma. Like you don't know if that person is like has had an assault in the past and like they get really stressed out and they need like a little bit of something to help ease that anxiety before they get intimate so they can relax. But like, that's a conversation you have to have. Cause I know a lot of people who are like, no, because of my history with assault, like I feel really triggered in certain intimate settings. And if I have some like weed in my system, I calm down. Yeah, but it's just like open communication is the best thing.
Open communication is the best thing. I just have to second that. I have to repeat it because it's so true. So Nadia, you have one last receipt, and I feel like we got to read that baby.
Yeah. And this one is it's swift and it's just goofy.
I love it.
So this is an old one. This is okay. I used to do this stand-up bit where I was like, should I text them back? And that was the game, as I would read texts and then I would tell people, hey, should I text them back? And the audience gets to sound off, which they love to do.
Oh yeah.
So I have this text series. Ugh, I hate when my iCloud's like, I'm full. I'm really full. I ate too much. I don't know what to do.
I got to take a nap and I can't show you. Sorry.
I hate it. Yeah, just a dumb. Anyways, stupid. This dude, don't know this dude at all. This was always my closer, and I revisited it because I thought it was a really funny receipt to have. This guy's name is Dan. I won't say his last name. Who knows? Okay. We have mutual friends, so I engaged with him longer than I would have if we didn't have mutual friends, because I was like, oh, he knows people I care about. In 2017, June 20th, I got a, hey, how are you? I didn't respond. That was at 2:57 a.m. June 26th, almost a week later, 2017, 4:16 p.m. Hey, how are you? And then 2 prayer hand emojis. I responded that afternoon. I said, hi there. And then he said, what's up? Smiley face. And then I ignored.
Wait, I have a question. Sorry.
Yeah.
How quickly did he respond to your response?
Oh, immediately.
Immediately. Okay. That's
He's waiting.
Okay, got it.
Their hands waiting.
Yeah, there's not even a different timestamp for his response.
Yes.
That's how fast
they don't offer seconds on the timestamps. Yeah.
Yeah. Then a series on July 24th at 4:45 a.m. Hey, you up? Busy? 2 more prayer hand emojis. You up? Nadia, lol. And then he tried to Facebook Messenger audio call me.
No.
And then I didn't answer, and he said, sorry, that was an accident.
Nope.
And then I responded, this is all at 5 a.m.
Oh no.
At this point. And I said, dude, what? And he said, sorry, do you model? And I said, only for my own brand. And he said, I got asked to model for a photo shoot, but I'm nervous AF. Could I ask you for advice? And I said, not at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
I woke up, honestly, to pee, and I can talk to you later. Promptly at 7 a.m., 2 hours later, he said, morning, prayer hand.
Okay.
And then he just keeps going. He starts asking me about shit, and I was just like, dude, I think I'm good. I don't want to be a part of this conversation. he keeps going, hey, how are you? Nadia, you up? Nadia, you up? And then Nadia, you busy? You good? And then you well.
Wow.
He got nervous about the grammar and was like, if I say you good, she's gonna think I don't know how adjectives work. So
right to the thesaurus. He thought maybe like looking up synonyms would impress you.
Yes. Ooh, I if he had a thesaurus, like if someone had a thesaurus in their profile photo for something, I would be impressed by that.
Yeah.
But not good to well. That's not.
If he models with the thesaurus.
Yes.
Yeah.
How did he spell you? With a U or Y? Just a U. Okay.
Yeah, just a
so
U.
I don't think you good, just a U, to you well, just a U is enough of a change.
No. And then after that, he said, Nadia, you know how to braid hair? I was like, dude, what the hell? Why? And that's at this point we've reached 2018. February 2018, 5:39 a.m. Nadia, you up? Sorry about my weirdness before.
At 5:30 again, though.
Sorry about my weirdness for 2017.
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring that back up again and apologize about it.
Did you respond to that?
Nope.
No. Just accepted the apology without telling him you accepted. Just sorry for my whole year. That's
wow.
Yeah, classic Ruben Studdard sorry for 2004. Remember that?
Yes, but it's the 2017 version. 2017 remake.
Maybe it is Ruben. What is he up
Ruben.
to?
I would love
and you would tell him about braiding hair if it was Ruben.
Yeah, also I'd be like, Ruben's like bald, but I'd be like, yeah, dude, at least like a black person is asking me about hair braiding. Like a non-black dude was like, yo, you braid hair at 5 a.m.
What do you think the motivation behind asking if you braid hair was?
I want to say it was racially motivated.
Yes.
And also he thought like, you know what she would love to talk about?
Braiding
She's
hair.
Black, braiding. I don't know anything else about her, but I know that she likes braiding hair because she's of the look.
Well, answer the question once and for all. Do you braid hair?
Nadia? No, I don't braid hair. These are twists that I did the other day. I don't braid hair. I'm not good at it. One time I was nannying these girls, these like 2 sweet young black girls. One of them was sweet. One of them bullied me.
Okay. One devil, one angel.
Yeah, literally my second day nannying the girls, I was wearing it was the summertime, I was wearing loafers. And she goes, are those the only shoes you own? I was like,
okay.
What? And then I went home and cried and bought new shoes because this kid was bullying me. Like went to Payless ashamed.
Oh my goodness. She Regina Georged you.
She did. She absolutely did. And that girl's mom was like, oh my God, do you know how to braid hair? Like she was a black woman. I'm a black woman. And I was like, no, I don't know. I know how to make a braid, but that's not what she means. She means, can you do cool braids on my child's head?
Yeah.
That don't look like trash. And I'm not. I can't say yes to that.
No. But maybe some trash ones. It depends what.
The second question being, do you know how to buy shoes?
Yeah, do you even know how to do that?
Yeah, let's get a Payless. Yeah. No, I saw a picture, like my memories the other day, a picture of me from 2014, and it was a full body shot, and I saw my shoes, and it's the same. It is the same shoe, not the same pair of shoes. Okay. I just keep on returning to that shoe, and it did not make me feel good. Yeah.
You know what you like, Andrew?
That
does remind me of my dad, who's been wearing Merrells since I was born.
Describe the Merrells.
A light gray tan, slip-on shoe. Easy on the feet. He's been wearing the same type of shoes for almost 30 years.
Nice.
So
I'm
we love
getting
the man who's
tour.
consistent.
Have you seen the Merrills that are like dupes for Yeezys?
No, but that sounds cool.
There's these like they just like everyone's all up about a Yeezy, but these ones look weird. They look like shoes that you would wear to go into like a river. Like if your family went to a river for like a cookout. If they went to a river instead of like a park, and then you had to wear river shoes because it was full of mud.
Oh yeah.
But then they're also like they kind of look like if my foot was just one big toe.
Oh, hot.
That's
very sexy.
Yeah, really
Everyone
sexy
loves
too.
A single toe for a full foot.
Yes, and they're like the new hot Merrills. And a friend of mine who like he works at Oliver Peoples. That's the eyeglass place. He used to. He was like, "These are the hottest effing shoes. I'm gonna buy these." And I was like, "Am I just dumb? Like, do I not know it's cool? I think these look like a toe." Yeah.
Wow.
So you know, that's
Nadia,
his truth.
This episode has been truly unbelievable. A full delight. Thank you so much for being a guest.
Thank you so much for having me. Truly, it's such a treat to have a reason to put on a face of freckles alone in my house. And I was just going to hang photos and like rearrange them endlessly on the wall if I didn't do this today. So I'm really very pleased. This has been so fun and therapeutic. Yay. And I think we talked about good things.
We did. I think everyone is going to learn and reflect a lot in this app. So I'm really happy about that. So Nadia, everyone should follow you. Where and how do they do that?
Yes. Okay, cool. So if you want to follow me as a person who's funny, my Instagram is at Nadia Pinder. It's just my name, no space at that. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm not very good at Twitter. And I can't promise you'll see anything great there, but occasionally I do. Occasionally I post something that gets 30 plus likes, you know, but it's usually less. Okay. That's Twitter at Miss MISS Nadia Pinder.
Yes.
And then if you want to follow my tie-dye, that Instagram is at Stuydyed, like Bed-Stuy, STUYDYED. You can go to the website, stuydyed.com. There's lots of fun photos of good friends of mine, like in their underwear, you know.
Gorgeous. So thank you so much, Nadia. This has been such a fun ep. Thank you to everyone who watched us live on Twitch, especially Level 3 Teapot. And yes. Level 3. And thank you so much for listening. This was Receipts.